Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about chaos. And chaos is coming from two different sources. Could be good, could be bad. Let's talk about Elon, what he's going to do with X, and what China is going through right now. Okay, there will be chaos. So let's talk about these two things, and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world today. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Market bell has just rung. There we go. And let me change my screen here. Today's looking like a pretty good day so far. Okay, U.S. market up pretty substantially. Dow, NASDAQ, we'll see how today goes. But last week was, I would say it was actually good. Surprisingly, after a Jackson Hole press conference, market was okay. Wall Street shrugged off what he had to say. Like, whatever, pal. We don't care. No, Wall Street does care. But he was more, even though he had a hawkish tone, people know that ultimately he's going to look at the data. And the data shows that things are not as bad as they seem, right? Things are still strong. The economy is still strong. Jobs and labor still strong. Inflation is still going down, although this next reading will be very important. And, of course, there's a lot more economic data that's coming out this week, including GDP. That's huge. Core PC inflation, that's going to be huge. Okay, that is what actually Powell looks at more importantly. PC over CPI. Ernest, big super chat. Thank you, my man. And then there's others. Payrolls, obviously, that's a huge thing. Unemployment, obviously a huge thing, right? We're getting massive economic data this week. And of course, this is all leading up to next month when we have another FOMC meeting. So right now, from an economic standpoint, I think we're okay. Unless some of these readings come out really, really, really badly. And then that's going to affect things. But right now, it seems like we're in the calm before the storm, so to speak, right? At least from Fed Chair Powell. But there is chaos from a couple other places right now. Let's start out with China. Okay, Evergrande is not looking good. Their shares open up for trading in Hong Kong after 17 months. And it plunged 87%. Okay, Evergrande is in a very nasty spot right now. I believe they are the largest. They're the largest commercial and maybe resident. No, I think commercial builder in China, and they've been struggling ever since 2021. Okay, peak was 2021, just like many investments out there. And then since then, things have been going south. And when things go south, that's when, they can't pay their bills, basically. For the last 12 months, they were unable to repay their debts, and right now it's just looking bad. They already filed for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. Basically, they want to get the creditors off their back from the U.S. Probably going to be doing the same thing in China, but, again, China's really struggling right now. So will they just let Evergrande collapse and let their entire commercial market collapse? I think not. I think China's going to step in and save them in some way. Kind of like the U.S. We come in and save all these banks and big institutions when they're deemed too large to fail. I'm pretty sure China's going to do the same thing, because this is ripping up a hole that's already enormous, and, they don't want everything to fall into the hole, basically, right? So that's what's happening right now with Evergrande, but also China is looking horrible on other fronts too. They are actually in deflation mode. Okay, our CPI is still like 3.2%. Theirs is negative. Their CPI is in a negative. Okay, whenever a country's in a negative CPI going through deflation, that's horrible. So look at this. They reduced their tax on stock trading by 50%. This is on top of cutting interest rates, on top of stimulus, right? So right now, they are trying what they can to try to stop that hole, basically, right? To stop the economy from falling into oblivion. And that's what's happening right now, right? So everyone is looking at this. Here's another interesting metric. Their stock versus the S&P 500 has never been this, I guess, disassociated since 2001. Okay, that's going back 22 years. So again, investors are not looking so I don't know, bullish, looking very bearish on Chinese stocks right now because of everything going on, right? There's one asterisk to all this, though. There's one maybe positive thing that's coming out of this. And that is today, retail investors will be able to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, Hashkey, I believe, is the very first exchange to get all their licenses, and trading begins today. But there's 80 other exchanges waiting to get approval, right? So the one caveat to all this doom and gloom out of China is maybe some of the citizens are thinking, well, stocks are doing bad, real estate is doing bad, where am I going to put my money into? Let's put into Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So that could be pretty good going forward. Again, when this news broke out before, when they approved they set regulations, they approved everything to allow retail investors to trade. What we didn't really think about at the time was that there's no exchanges there. There's none that's operating. So even though it's been okay for a while, it hasn't really happened yet. Today is actually really the first day that retail investors are allowed to invest, right? And this will only expand from there. China has a bigger goal when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto and their own CBDC, their digital yuan and everything, right? So they have a grand plan, just hasn't been executed yet. But right now, yeah, I think the world is looking at China. Of course, if China's economy collapses, that means manufacturing collapses. That means supply chain tightens once again. And of course, that leads to higher inflation. One of the major reasons why inflation went up through the roof the last 3 years during COVID time, right? No one wants to see that again. No one wants to see supply chain get diminished once again, and then prices go up through the roof. Then everyone else like Powell has to raise their rates again, and that's horrible. We don't want to see more rate hikes, okay? Honestly, no country on earth wants to see more rate hikes at this point. So something to consider. Chaos may be coming. Now, here's another one out of left field. It's been reported that Elon, who is actually a co-founder of PayPal, is trying to make X into the ultimate PayPal competitor. So it's been leaked that is what Elon is trying to do. He talks about making X, formerly, aka Twitter. He's trying to make that into this gigantic payment app to compete with the likes of PayPal, which means he's also going to be dabbing into crypto, because PayPal right now is very, 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 they have a very ambitious goal to kind of move themselves towards maybe all digital currency one day as they release their stable coin, which is a big deal. You don't see a lot of private companies just come out of the stable coin, especially in the US. So obviously they have some big ambitions, right? And they already allow crypto trading. They also allow you to withdraw your crypto, which is nice. When they first introduced buying and selling, they didn't allow that, but they do now. But still, I don't trust PayPal. I've always said this. I don't trust PayPal. They look like they're a bank. They look like they operate like a bank, but they don't follow banking rules, so they could just lock you out and all this stuff. But anyways, so this leak is interesting because Elon has been very quiet on the crypto front, right? Even with Doge, very, 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 very little has been said about Doge for how many years now? Probably a couple years. So is he secretly planning something huge, like a massive update with a crypto wallet, with maybe a stable coin trading within this wallet, right? Maybe he's planning something absolutely huge that none of us, none of us imagined, has anticipated. I don't know. That could be coming. Right? I think that's pretty interesting. That's why chaos could be coming from Elon as well. He certainly has the power to drive markets. That's for sure. That's for sure. So something else coming out of there, hopefully soon, in a positive way. Like I said at the beginning, these chaos could be good. Could be good chaos, even though chaos is not usually associated with good. But, it could be good. But, let's move on to actually really good things. As for Bitcoin, balance on exchanges, you notice that it just keeps on going down. I've been telling you guys, ignore the FUD, ignore the volatility, because what's really happening is more and more people and institutions and whales are buying Bitcoin. Not only buying them, taking off Bitcoin from the exchanges, right? That's why balance on exchanges continues to go. We're back to 2017 levels. It continues to go down and down and down and down, right? It's happening. All these big buys that's happening behind the scenes, OTC, they're coming from somewhere. The exchanges. These big boys that are buying, they're removing them from exchanges. And in reverse, you look at non-zero addresses, keeps on going up, all-time high, roughly 48.2 million addresses, and continues to go higher and higher and higher. See, the fundamentals of Bitcoin has never, ever been better. Despite the fact the price is not at its all-time high, fundamentals are, right? There's so many things that you can measure. And fundamentals of Bitcoin, including addresses, hash rate, holders, exchange reserves, right? The best it's ever been for Bitcoin. So all fantastic stuff. Here's something else. This is looking at BTC supply not moved for over 1 year. Okay. And Stock Money Lizards, kind of drew this out and correlated with Bitcoin's price movement. And you can tell exactly when the bull market starts and when the bear market starts. So according to this, we're getting very, very, very close to the beginning of bull market, right? When things start going up. And, it just means that we're getting closer and closer and closer to that halving event, right? And after we approach it and break through it, that's when things go crazy. That's ultimately what this is showing. Although this is showing that we'll probably start moving upwards before the halving event, because this is showing before 2024. This is looking at the end of the year. So things could definitely be moving quicker than scheduled because of everything that we're going through, right? Maybe a spot Bitcoin ETF approval early, or maybe some major case, the Coinbase case gets removed. Maybe Ripple case, maybe Ripple wins. I mean, there's so many things, right? Maybe what's happening in Hong Kong right now, as more and more exchanges get listed, more and more people are able to buy. I mean, there's just a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things. And then here's something else. Last thing I want to say about Bitcoin. This is looking at just the percentage, I guess, of holders and showing how much they hold. So if you look at holders between 1 to 10, which is the very light green, right? That's a significant amount. A significant amount of people are holding between 1 to 10 Bitcoin. And then you have a significant amount of people holding 0.1 to 1, which is significant. And then you have small amounts of people that are holding between 0.1 and 0.01, and then 0.001 and 0.01, right? So what does this say? Most people that's in the game have been accumulating for a while, which is why it makes sense. There's a large number of people holding between 1 to 10 and 0.1 to 1, right? I think a really good goal for anyone in the space is to accumulate at least one Bitcoin, because that one Bitcoin could make you a millionaire in the future. I honestly believe one day Bitcoin can be above $1 million each. So just by holding one can make you a millionaire, right? But it's not, of course, not just Bitcoin. There's so many others out there that will be rising with every cycle. And as more and more money comes in to the space, and as better dApps get developed in Web3, yeah, you're going to see explosion of magnitudes, okay? And all those things are coming. So awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Now, in addition, there's other things that's going on. I know a lot of you guys are OnlyFans fans. But the parent company supposedly bought $20 million of Ethereum. This was back in between 2021 and 2022, right? And they still hold that. But this is an example of institutions or companies buying and not disclosing, right? Not everyone is like Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy. Whenever they buy, they release it and announce it right away. But there are so many companies out there that they don't want to announce it. They want to keep it a secret, right? So, going back to why the exchange reserves keeps going down is because, you just don't know. You don't know who's buying. BlackRock, I argue, is buying. That $3 billion to that mysterious whale, people say, well, it's Robinhood. No. Robinhood bought it for someone. It wasn't because they bought it from themselves. They're in the business of buying for others, right? So who bought that $3 billion? Was it BlackRock? Was it Fidelity? Maybe Vanguard wants to get involved. We don't know, right? So until someone discloses, you really don't know. But this is kind of interesting that they already bought $20 million worth of ETH, not Bitcoin, right? Also, SHIB. A lot of you guys are SHIB fans. Right now, they have turned on limited access to Shibarium. They're getting ready for a huge relaunch. Hopefully, they will not repeat, the very first relaunch, which was, I guess, a disaster because of all the congestion, and they had like 2 million or 20 million of ETH locked in there. So they are getting ready to move forward with a relaunch. So we'll see how this goes, how it affects SHIB, and how it affects Bone, right? And then lastly, a lot of you guys know this. I don't know if the exact details, but this came out over the weekend, okay? I think more will be announced today, according to the team, but Bitboy, Ben Armstrong, has been removed from his own companies, Hit Network, BJ Investment Holdings, and everything around Bitboy Crypto and around the blockchain. So I'm not going to speculate with you guys what has happened, what led to this, but this does seem pretty serious, and it's been talked about all weekend. And hopefully we get more information about this because they said they were going to do some major announcement today. So I don't know what's going on. I've just heard rumors about what may have happened, right? But yeah, I really don't know. All right. That is pretty much it. Today, Bitcoin is still kind of steady. Overall market cap is a little bit higher. U.S. market is up in a big way. That's good. So, all right, let's do some Q&A. All right, so scrolling up here, Ernest already said thank you to you. People up front was asking about Bitboy and Ben token. I don't want to speculate, but I've been hearing things. That's for sure. Let's see. Let's see. TZ asked, does George do OnlyFans? Now that friend.tech allows pictures, I don't need to come on my OnlyFans. Troy Crypto asks, I plan on taking profits in November 2025. Is it reasonable for Bitcoin E, Soulmatic, Phantom to do all 3 to 5x from all-time highs? Is it reasonable? Yes. Yes. Because this is how I look at it in a really easy way. Bitcoin, if it does a 3x, okay, from 70K, that means it's about 210,000. Is that reasonable? Yes. If it doesn't go to 3x, let's just say 2x, 140, 150,000. Yes. If Bitcoin is going to do at least a 2x, ETH is at least doing a 3x. And if ETH is doing a 3x, Soulmatic, Phantom will all do at least a 5x. So is it reasonable? Yes. Yes. Blair, thanks for the recommendation. T Sports, I appreciate that. It is very close. I did release the video, a house progress update. It is very close. I'm very excited about it. Brent says, I got married this weekend. Congratulations. Taking the money we got from our family and guests and putting it into Bitcoin for the rest of this year. Congrats. Congrats on both fronts. If Bitcoin goes down to 20K, you're going to bomb buy. I don't know what that means, Terry, but am I going to buy if Bitcoin goes down to 20,000? Yes. Yes, I will. I'll be buying a lot. Okay. This is the reason why you want to have cash on the side to DCA. And also, if there's any catastrophic event that drives a whole lot of FUD and drives Bitcoin downwards, you want to be able to take advantage of that. So that's very important. Something that's very hard. It's a hard lesson to learn, but something you have to, you gotta work it into your portfolio. Having that cash on the side, it's important. Beard Noom, I appreciate that. I do. A lot of people are saying marriage is not advised for profits. No, you just have to find the right person, okay? You got to find the right person. That's all I'll say about that. Luckily, I did. It's much easier to find the right person when you're not wealthy, when you're not rich, right? So it's better to do it earlier than later, because once you're a crypto millionaire and finding true love, it's going to be much harder. That's my opinion. It doesn't mean it has to be crypto millionaire, any kind of millionaire. I mean, it's going to be much harder to find true love versus when you were broke, right? So as long as you find the right person in your life, then you'll do just fine. Space 5. Come on now. Don't do them dirty like that. You know, there's one thing, you know, I just don't quite understand, but I guess a lot of you guys will agree to this. Um, but there's, like, between me and my wife, the couples we know, like our friends, and most of them are married, if not all of them. Yeah, I think basically everyone we know is married at this point. But it's surprisingly, to me, every single one basically separates their money. As a married couple, like I can understand if you're dating, you know, it's one thing, but like as a married couple, they still separate their finances. So then they end up having like 3 or 4 different accounts. They divide up what each person is responsible for paying, and then that's it. So for example, someone will be paying the mortgage, someone will be paying for the kids, someone will be paying for the house, the cars, someone will be paying for vacations, or maybe they put in a joint account for, you know, for vacations or whatever, but everything else is separated. But, you know, it's like, to me, that's, I don't know how you can operate your finance like that if you're married, you know? Like, I've never had that mentality. But I get it. If it's your second marriage or third marriage, you want to protect your assets from each other. You want to be able to have the freedom to buy your own things. I get it. But still, like, if you're married, you're supposed to be bonded, right? You shouldn't be separating that much. I don't know. It just, again, I guess just different people treat finances differently. See, Koala Man understands. My sister does that with her husband, and I don't get it. It's hilarious when we eat out and they each lay for their own meal. See, like, I don't get how a married couple can do that. Like, they separate it so down the line, right? Like, again, I don't get it. That's just crazy. Then why even get married at all? There is no financial benefit for a man to get married. Women have all the rights, damn near. Well, if you find the right one, okay, your wife will help you in many ways besides just getting rich, right? But they could also help you get more rich too. So it matters on who you find. I guess the mentality. Maybe I was just lucky, and you know, and many others aren't. I don't know. I know a lot of people have gone through divorces and messy splits and stuff like that, right? Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Like, but I just feel like if you find the right person, and then, you know, splitting finances and all that just doesn't make sense. Have I heard of partnership between Gala and XRP? No. No, I have not. Nanto. Uh, Preston, please teach me like I'm 5. I can't teach crypto to a 5-year-old, maybe like a 10-year-old. What is XRP? XRP, the simplest way I know how to explain XRP is it's meant to replace USD. Okay? And what does that mean? That means XRP was created so that banks can transfer money around, okay, and not worry about denominations, not worry about like exchanges between currencies, and just use XRP as a bridge currency. Okay, so if you're transferring money from a US account to a UK account, you don't have to worry about all the conversions. You just use XRP to transfer money from one to another. Simplest way I can explain it. Eli, I was lucky like you. My wife and I keep our money together and keep it tight. Yeah. It's okay to have like a little extra for yourselves, right? Like if you and your wife have something extra on the side you want to use for your own, you know, whatever, toys or hobbies that you want to, spend on, that's fine. But like, but everything else, I just feel like should be shared. One person out of the two is going to be making it more, right? That's reality. But that's why if you split it down the middle, it causes more conflicts. Because say one person makes substantially more than the other, and you're still trying to split 50-50 on everything, then the person that's making less is getting screwed, right? So, and actually one of my friends, my wife's friends, is going through that, where the guy's making like 3 times more than she is, and she's making good money, but he's just making better money. But whenever they do stuff like vacations and stuff, like, it's always 50-50, and she feels like it's not fair. Saturdays, right? Like Saturdays, there's not a lot of crypto news. I was thinking about just doing like different kind of live stream on Saturday. Maybe I could talk about, random stuff like marriages and financial, how to save money or whatever. I don't know. I was thinking about that. Maybe Saturdays I change up my videos and do something different. Because there's only so much hopium I can bring every day. I'll leave this up. Relationship advice Saturdays. Yeah. Yeah, see, Brent, see, not every marriage is bad, right? Brent says, I was lucky to have met my wife when I was broke. She actually helped me teach me about my finances. I was able to teach her a few things as well. You see? That's how it's supposed to be. I buy altcoins and BTC. My wife buys gold and jewelry. Well, to be fair, gold and jewelry is also are investments, and they can appreciate as well. Bring back the Lego live streams. They were always fun. I only did 2 of them, and I haven't really built any more sets, so they would be exactly the same. Listen, buying luxury stuff is fine as long as you or her or both can afford it, right? Like if you have money, if you want to spend a little bit, it's fine. I'm totally on the side of, there's 2 types of people. No, there's 2 types of people. Savers and spenders, right? I'm on the side of spending as long as you can make good money and not worry about that spending, right? If you're broke and you're still a spender, that's a problem. So I guess there's 4 types of people. So you either a saver. No, there's 3. You're a saver no matter what. If you're rich or poor, there are both savers, right? There are some really wealthy people that will not spend on anything, nothing. They still drive a Toyota Corolla around, even being a billionaire, right? There are savers that are super wealthy, but there's also savers that's broke, right? But I truly believe you can't gain wealth by saving, like you can't. And then on the other spectrum is you have the spenders, right? And then you have people that are broke that are spending, that makes them more broke. That's horrible. But then you have the high net worth individuals or high earners. They're also spenders, and that's fine, right? So as long as you don't have to be worried about, your purchases, you're doing fine. So I don't have a problem with spending. But there are a lot of people that will just hammer, like you can only save. You got to save everything all the time, right? You can never spend and enjoy your money. I'm not for that at all. Terry says, yeah, my dad is totally the guy who will drive a Corolla around as a billionaire. I mean, that happens more often than you think. You know, you can't, sometimes you really can't judge a book by its cover. There are people that's dressed in normal clothes. They may even look like bummish, right? Driving a really bad car around. And, you know, they have 8, 9, 10 figures in their bank accounts. Like, it's just insane sometimes. There are some people that just don't care about material possessions. And you could argue those people are probably better for it. But still, if you're saving your entire life and you never get to spend it and truly enjoy it, and you just pass it on, you know, that's not really living also. Not in my book, at least. Rich Dad says, Robert Kiyosaki, that says savers are losers. That's right. His argument is, why would he want to save something that the government can print unlimited amount of, which is dollars? The government can print unlimited amount of dollars, so why would he want to save that, right? I mean, to an extent, of course, you want to save money in case there's a bear market or a big catastrophic drop, so you could take advantage. So, of course, there are benefits to saving. But if you're saving your whole life trying to build wealth by saving, that's tough. That's not going to happen. JC, how about a money management educational segment on Saturday? I might do something different on Saturday. Saturdays, there's not a lot of crypto stuff to talk about. I may just do something else on Saturdays, just a free-for-all chat about whatever. But then I have to come up with content. I can't just do a Q&A on Saturday. That would be kind of weird. Maybe I can. Just don't, just chat about whatever. Goddamn spider that just... The spider just like, let's go die. All right. I guess that's about it. Take us to the park Saturdays. I should just, I should drive around my Ferrari on Saturdays and live stream within, and then when we could chat about whatever randomly. That would be a good segment, except I don't know if I could drive around every Saturday. All right, guys, to conclude, we got chaos coming from China. They're not looking too good, but this could lead to good things. Also, we got some chaos that could be coming from Elon and X, aka Twitter. So, yeah. There's those two things. And, outside those two things, Bitcoin is still doing good. Fundamentals still look great. So stay strong, my friends. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.